Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Rakakwadash. Double honors to all the apostles, the great millstone, and also to all the other brothers who continue to do this work in truth and in sincerity and in faith. And don't let a day go by where there's no prophecy. And it's a news report from Routers. And you know how they do. Routers is kind of iffy. Routers has good information, but I don't know. It's always something extra. Israel shoots down Syrian warplane as Golan frontier heats up. Enemies dispute location of the targeted jet. Israeli sirens sound on Golan for second day. Assad army closes in on southern Syria rebels. Ad source saying pilot killed. Jerusalem/Beirut, July 24th. Israel said it shot down a Syrian warplane that crossed into the occupied Golan Heights on Tuesday. But Damascus said the jet was fired on as it took part in sorties against rebels within Syria. The incident added new fuel to weeks of tensions over the Golan, a strategic plateau between the two old enemies and where Israel has been on high alert as Syrian government forces supported by Russia close in to regain rebel-held ground. Israel worries Syrian President Bashar al-Assad may defy a 1974 UN armistice that demilitarized much of the Golan or let his Iranian and Lebanese Hezbollah reinforcements deploy there. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said the Syrian jet had been in gross violation of the separation of forces between us and Syria. Israel took appropriate action, he said. So on the bottom here, you'll see that there was simply the word Amalek searched up, because this is basically everybody who lives in Israel, the true imposters, the imposters of imposters, because about 20 to 30% of Israel is Ishmaelites, and then there's the so-called Jew, which is actually Amalek, who is related to Esau. Of course, the wicked of the earth, the wickedest to ever live, And there's a lot of so-called white people that you see that are actually Israelites. So you may think that there's even actually probably a few Jake in Israel that are just there, and just may, just dwell there. But that, that's far and few in between. He's probably like a Ishmaelite looking Jake, because you can't just be black in Israel and hang out. And that's the ironic part, that these people are now saying actually, let me be official. The state of Israel is no longer the state of Israel now. They are just Israel, right? Yet, how are you supposed to be Israeli, right? If it's supposed to be 12 tribes of Israel. That makes no sense. First of all, that makes no sense. Second of all, how is it that every single time we see Israel on the news, they're talking about they want to be separate, they wanted this, yet they always taking aid from some of everybody. They working with the damn French. Obviously, they working with Babylon. Obviously, Babylon and Amalek hand in hand. Esau and Amalek hand in hand. But anyways, we're gonna read these scriptures, and it's a handful of them. We're just gonna see who this guy is originally. Because Israel is now separating itself from the Ishmaelites, and the Ishmaelites are not having it. Okay. And the Russians are like, well, this is a perfect opportunity to dismantle whatever's going on in Israel. So, of course they're with it. So we're just going to look at Amalek. This is Genesis chapter 36, verse 12. And Timnah was concubine to Eliphaz, Esau's son, and she bare to Eliphaz Amalek. These were the sons of Adah, Esau's wife. Okay. Genesis chapter 36, verse 16. Duke Korah, Duke Gatam, and Duke Amalek. These are the dukes that came of Eliphaz in the land of Edom. They were the sons of Adah. So you see, there was a land of Edom, and it was all the way at the bottom. In the outskirts, and this is where the so-called white people dwelled, and a lot of these so-called white people dwell in Israel right now, claiming to want to have war over it. But the Spirit just reveals that the Lord is just clearing that place out. That's what He's really doing. Of course, what's He going to do? He's going to give a spirit of jealousy towards the land over those Amalekites over there, and they're going to say, hey, we want to be a separate nation, right? But time and time again, what does the Lord continue to say? This is my land for my people, So while you're being covetous over land, items, things, gold, and whatnot, it will be brought forth towards the hopeful elect in the end, anyways. But none of these guys know that. They're just bullshitting. Now we're gonna start to look at what they did a little bit. This is Exodus chapter 17, verse 8. Then came Amalek and fought with Israel in Rephidim. So they've been doing that. So Amalek has been fighting against Israel. And these are two different Israels. The state of Israel is a fake front that was established in the late 40s in order to just throw off all sorts of confusing vibrations. These damn Ishmaelites and these damn so-called white people done acted like they are the real Jews. They've lost their mind. They're half-witted. What they speak is nonsense. It's hogwash. Okay, and this is an illegitimate scheme in order for them to rile up the damn Ishmaelites. They want to say that the official language is Hebrew when it's Yiddish. What they're speaking, they're speaking the Yiddish, man. They're not speaking the Lashon Kodash, okay? The real Hebrew. I've never in my entire life seen anything on YouTube or on the internet where you go to a rabbi and before he say anything, I never hear him say, Call halal Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai Bahashim Kodash. I've never heard him say that. I've never heard him salute any sort of elders. I've never seen him break down scripture upon scripture. You don't hear that. So that for these people to even want to have war with Syria, it's an insult, man. It really is. And let's continue to read. We're just gonna do about 4 of them, then go to the book, because this app is good. But I'm gonna read from the book. This is Exodus chapter 17, verse 9. And Moses said unto Joshua, Choose us out men, and go out and fight with Amalek. Tomorrow I will stand on the top of the hill with the rod of Yahweh in mine hand. Okay? So basically, the rod of Yahweh in your hand, which hand is that? The right hand. Because there's a right hand and there's a left hand. And you see on the left hand, Amalek is really trying to do damage. That's why they're, shooting their shit up. Everybody's everybody's trying to shoot everybody's stuff down. This is Exodus chapter 17, verse 10. So Joshua did as Moses had said to him and fought with Amalek. And Moses, Aaron, and Hur went up to the top of the hill. And it came to pass, when Moses held up his hand, that Israel prevailed. And when he let Salakia. When he let down his hand, Amalek prevailed. And Joshua comforted Amalek with his people with the edge of the sword. And the Lord said unto Moses, write this for a memorial in a book, and rehearse it in the ears of Joshua. For I will utterly put out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven. Alright? And that's a prophecy. That's a prophecy that's going to happen in this land of Israel. That land of Israel is going to be cleared out by nuclear missiles, okay? That's what's going to happen. And it don't matter how many defense missile systems them niggas try to put up. What do they tried to name the defense system after something. It was some sort of funny name. I can't remember, but it's goofy as hell. And they really think that's going to stop a Satan II missile. Yeah, no, it's not. No, it's not. It's no way for that. Y'all might as well get Amalek. Esau might as well give it up. You know, because, they're not gonna. Because they're pride. You know. Look, I'm just going to continue to read here. For he said, because the Lord hath sworn that the Lord will have war with Amalek from generation to generation. So generation upon generation, they're still on the same thing. They're still believing they're Israeli and all this other shit, and that this land is theirs, and it's just madness. Okay? Numbers 24 and 20. And when he looked on Amalek, he took up his parable and said, Amalek was the first of the nations, but his latter end shall be that he perish forever. So you see, a lot of these people were born before Israel. You know, a lot of these people existed before Israel, and when Israel came on the scene, this is when the blessings and everything, righteous started to occur. So they were animals before they were human beings, So there was always shit going on before us, Amalek doing his fucking wicked deeds, and he's still doing it now and ain't got the fucking nerve to say that we're not the true men of the Lord. It makes no sense, man. It's not making no sense. Jacob had 12 children. Then he had a daughter. Obviously, the daughter is not going to have a tribe. That makes absolutely no sense. Why would a woman have their own tribe? You see? And that's just one of the stumbling blocks for our people. They bring that up. But what about his daughter? What the fuck about his daughter? How you going to have a tribe from a woman? That makes absolutely no sense. But here they go with all this sentiments they bring in that it's like they're Ishmaelites, but they want to be Israel. Like, if they were to even have if they were going to have a fake group of Israelites, wouldn't they just taken, I don't know, somebody else besides these people? A lot of these people just look red and just evil, They do. It is what it is, but we're going to go back to it now. Now we're going to go into Deuteronomy 25:17. Remember what Amalek did unto thee by the way, when ye were come forth out of Egypt. Therefore it shall be, when the Lord thy power hath given thee rest from all thine enemies round about, in the land which the Lord thy power giveth thee for an inheritance to possess it, that thou shalt blot out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven. Thou shalt not forget it. And what does that mean? Even after this, when the elect 144,000 men receive that spiritual key to the kingdom of heaven, and that 1/3 along with them dwells in their land, you'll remember the past. You understand? You see, your parents, your woman, your closest friends, anybody who comes up against the doctrine of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, in the end, will reverence Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, and know that Yahweh is the name of who you call God. That'll be the that'll be engraved in everybody. There will be no there will be no sort of outside doctrine, and you'll remember that. We'll be able to remember the past. See, that's why you gotta remember it. You gotta remember verses like this, because wisdom. I notice that a lot of times the wisdom comes at the end, because see, the Lord knows that Jake has a short attention span, so he packs the real heat at the end. You know, because a lot of times if you don't intensely stare at that verse, you won't come upon what you need to come upon, you know. So we'll read it again. Deuteronomy chapter 25, verse 19. Therefore it shall be, not maybe, it shall be, when the Lord thy power hath given thee rest from all thine enemies round about. And how is he going to do that? By deliverance, first of all, by the hands of the swords, okay, through everybody's militaries turning against Babylon, you know, and so on and so forth. In the land which the Lord thy God hath given thee for an inheritance to possess it, and that's Israel, okay, that thou blot out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven. So if we're given Israel as an inheritance to possess, who would be there? Who is there that we're because we have to take it back. Israel is currently inhabited by who? Amalek. Israel currently now has to be Amalek. If we're the Israelites, right? And it says, the Lord thy God hath given thee for an inheritance to possess it, that thou shalt blot out the remember. So we're going to blot it out. We're going to be tearing down their temples. We're going to be tearing down all their wickedness, all that wicked LGBTQ shit in Tel Aviv. The Pink City, that's getting destroyed. Okay? That's going to get destroyed by all sorts of shit. Missiles, all sorts of shit. You know, but it's going to be blotted out, you know? And nobody's going to remember it. But we will. We will remember it. See, we'll have the ability to understand the past. See, that's one of the grand mysteries of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Even in death, you'll know your past. You'll be joined, if Lord's will, you're part of the 144,000, 12,000 out of each tribe. Lord's will, you'll be given that understanding. Thou shalt not forget it. You know? So a lot of you brothers, man, that's a big key point. Thou shalt not forget it. You know? So we'll blot it out from the rest. And you see, that's how you know that the 144,000 are the administrators. You know how you may have a computer and you see it's like Yahweh is he is the ultimate, he is like he's a computer program, right? But obviously you need administrators. You know, like when you log on Windows XP, oh, I got to change the settings. Well, you try to do something, and if the administrators say you can't, you can't. You understand? So that's why the Lord has certain administrators doing certain things, and in the times of searching out Amalek and drawing him out from up under his, deep, low places through his bunkers, because a lot of these Amalekites, a lot of these Edomites are going to have the money in order to survive that nuclear holocaust. But guess what? When those 144,000 and those angels come about, see, those angels, they don't have the ability to get burnt by nuclear radiation. Neither does 144,000. When you get those new bodies, and it talks in the scriptures about the new bodies, they're quote unquote extraterrestrial. You understand? So they won't get burnt by any fire, anything hot or anything. So we'll be able to go to the bunkers, seek out Amalek, with the swords, of course, take them and possess them in our land. Just as we were reading over here, and we're gonna blot them out. All right, this is Judges 3:13. And he gathered unto him the children of Ammon and Amalek, and went and smote Israel and possessed the city of palm trees. Damn dirty devil. This is Judges 5:14. Out of Ephraim was there a root of them against Amalek. After thee, Benjamin, among thy people, out of Machir came down governors, and out of Zebulun they that handle the pen of the writer. So a lot of these different people, remember they were patriarchs. A lot of these people are now who you call today Puerto Ricans. Ephraim is who you would call Puerto Rican people today. They all have a common patriarch, a common ancestor. His name was Ephraim. See, because all your genetics, all DNA, all things precious come from the man. You see, that's why we don't talk about. See, the women are accounted for, of course, in the Bible, but they don't talk about they don't talk about family lines, lineages, seed lines, bloodlines, DNA, any characteristics. They don't attribute that to the woman. It's all due to the man. They say son of so and so. So that's how it goes. The man is important. This is 1 Samuel 15:2. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, I remember that which Amalek did to Israel, how he laid wait for him in the way when he came up from Egypt. And they always lay wait. And this is thus saith the Lord of hosts. I remember that which Amalek did to Israel. So he remembers what they've done now, and in the future. How he laid wait, and they're constantly laying wait. They're manipulating they're manipulating the air, man. They're manipulating the what do you call it? Stock market. Slovakia. But I had to think of that because they got their slick ways, man. They really do. 1 Samuel 15:3. Now go and smite Amalek, and utterly destroy all that they have, and spare them not, but slay both man and woman, infant and suckling, ox and sheep, camel and ass. So we need to go when the time is appointed, and no other time. We are not violent people, but in the time with 144,000 are chosen to accompany the innumerable amount of angels and Yahweh himself in order to ordain peace upon this earth through the eradication of Esau, Edom, and also Amalek, and also the heathen nations, the Moabites, Ammonites, Elamites, Amalekites, what do you call it? Ishmaelites, Japhites, all that. Taking them out. And when it comes to Amalek, Esau, slay man and woman, infant and suckling, ox and sheep, camel and ass. So leave not a trace, So leave not a trace, This is First Samuel 15:20. And Saul said unto Samuel, Yea, I have obeyed the voice of the Lord, and have gone the way which the Lord sent me, and have brought Agag the king of Amalek, and have utterly destroyed the Amalekites. Before thou obeyest not the voice of the Lord, nor executest his fierce wrath upon Amalek, therefore hath the Lord done this thing unto this day. Oh, and I thought that was a continuance. That was a That was a completely different scripture. Salakia. I'm just gonna read after I finish bottom this bottom piece. For the second time in as many days, Israeli sirens sounded on the Golan, and witnesses saw the contrails of two missiles flying skyward. The military said it fired Patriot interceptor and Patriot. See, Patriot. Where does that come from? You know, a Patriot. They're obviously getting them weapons from America. See, they're hand in hand. They even name their interceptor missiles after the ways of Babylon, man. Anyways, at a Syrian jet that crossed 1 mile into Israeli-controlled airspace after first trying to warn it off. And then it talks about UN peacekeepers and, you know, it's talking about the spiraling Israeli-Syrian tensions. And, and it says it has spurred intercession by Moscow, which sent Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov and his top general on Monday for talks with Netanyahu. So Russia's finna get it popping in Syria. He said, fuck Trump. We finna get it popping anyways because we're tired of Israel. He's tired of the Israelis. He's tired of the damn Ishmaelites getting aid from America. Y'all are the biggest welfare babies on the planet, man. Biggest welfare babies on the planet. Y'all know it. Y'all know it. We're gonna get this. I want to go ahead and get into this too. This is from the Times of Israel right here, and I just thought to myself, this is very symbolic. Ancient boulder dislodges from Western Wall, crashes down near woman at prayer. Dramatic footage shows large stone coming loose from holy site, shattering on prayer platform below. This is from the Western Wall in Israel. And see, the Lord is trying to tell them get the hell away from that wall. Okay, look at it, man. They got the wall in ruins. It's all gross looking. What kind of wall is that? But she almost got hit with it. But has she got hit with it? All praises. Look, there it goes. So even the foundations are crumbling. They believe that this land is going to be here forever, man. And the walls are tumbling down, And that's just one rock. That's just one rock. Let's see what happened. Yep, have that landed on her. Game over. Look at this red ass. Look at this red ass dude. Look at him. You truly believe because see he gets the opportunity to learn the Hebrew. We had to get stuck with Babylonian speak, But he gets to learn the Hebrew, and then he's even trying to write sentences. Look at this red ass. This is an Amalekite. This is who we're talking about. Look. This is who we're talking about. This guy, this is an imposter, man. This is a murderer. Spiritually. This is all of the above. This is a wicked guy. We don't even know who this guy is right here. But we know he wicked just by looking at him. So, The next search word is pride, man. Pride. Trump getting in some more shit. Trump is getting in more shit than you can even imagine now. He is fulfilling biblical prophecy, and all praises goes to Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. You know, he is playing perfectly into the hands of the left side angels who are influencing him. I know he getting influenced on the left hand side, definitely. He don't even know what the hell he be doing. Sometimes he just does it. And all praise because we're getting close. We're getting out of here. And it is what it is. And this is just a sign of the times. Iran dismisses Trump threat, says he won't dare attack. General Gholam Hossein Gabi Pavar downplays U.S. president's tweeted warning as simply psychological warfare against Tehran. Iranian President Hassan Rouhani listens during a joint press conference with Austrian President following talks on July 4th. And you see, July 4th, that's always symbolic of what's it called? Independence Day here. So, they make mockery of that shit. A high-ranking Iranian officer on Monday said U.S. President DJ Trump warning of unprecedented consequences for Iran, Persia, should it threaten the United States, is nothing but psychological warfare. And what the fuck is psychological warfare? Psychological warfare is what Esau been continually doing day in and day out through these movies, through a lot of these TV shows, through his clothing, through his food, through his advertisements, okay, through his public school system. That's psychological warfare too. The teaching of evolution, okay? The teaching of certain items don't have value, okay? How in the hell is it that they believe that silver, gold, they teach in school that silver and gold isn't as valuable as money, like, oh, money and a job and this and that. What would you rather have, $100,000 in gold, or would you rather amount $100,000 from a job over 4 years? That's basically, so they don't want us to have our inheritance. We were supposed to have gold, okay? But through psychological warfare, you want to tell us, oh, gold isn't valuable, cash is valuable. We always used to hear that in school, cash, this and that. Even when I was in high school, we could have been had some machines that ran with credit cards, but no. What did they want in school? Cash. If you was finna put some money on the books, okay, at school, because school basically like prison. You got to put money on the commissary. So they wanted cash. They ain't want no fucking card, no check. They wanted cash. That's psychological warfare. But anyways, General Gholam Hossein G. Pavar, the chief of paramilitary Revolutionary Guards Volunteer Basiji Force, also said that Trump won't dare take any military action against Iran, aka Persia. G. Pavar's comments were reported by the semi-official INSA news agency. Iranian president said Sunday that American this guy, man, they cannot proofread for shit on the Times of Israel. They need to get somebody who actually speaks English. They're fucking it up. America, not American. America must understand well that peace with Iran is the mother of all peace, and war with Iran is the mother of all wars. So let's discern that spiritually. Babylon must understand well that peace with Persia is the mother of all peace, and war with Persia is the mother of all wars. That's what the hell he really talking about. Okay? Because if you think they don't read them scripts up there in Iran, you a damn fool. And they know what time it is. They know exactly what time it is. They're trying to starve Iran of their oil exports and imports, you already know what time it's going to be for them. Because you already know they're not using American dollars anyways, so they're already on a quote-unquote short leash. So Babylon trying to tie that leash tighter, and Iran ain't having it. And when it really comes down to it, they're going to really start letting Esau have it. Really? That's what's going to happen, because the men of the Lord are going to be chilling, prophesying, eating olives. We're not going to be worried about it. It's going to be those that are laden in iniquity and in pride that are going to suffer the foolish death that is dying with the FRID chip in their hand or in their forehead, like an idiot. Because all this war with Iran, before any of this has to pop off, that has to pop off first. The mark of the beast. Because they're going to have to be accountable for everybody before this bullshit pops off. Before all this happens, they got to get the chip in everybody. Then they can go ahead and have all sorts of chaos break out, because everybody will obviously be accounted for, except for the men of the Lord, which will be delivered. Thus saith the Lord. Continuing to read here, he also warned Trump to stop playing with the lion's tail and threatening Iran, or else you will regret it. Or how will we regret it? I'll tell you how he'll regret it. By reading to you here. This is the book of Esdras, chapter 16, verse 1. Woe unto thee, Babylon and Asia! Woe unto thee, Egypt and Syria! So, Egypt is basically Babylon, right? And Babylon is basically Egypt, right? And Asia, right? Because Asia Minor is basically like Syria too. So so basically it's almost like he's combining the words, Woe to Babylon, which is also spiritually Egypt, which is America, right? And then woe to Asia, which is like Asia Minor, which is basically Syria. And as you can see here, Syria and Israel are currently going against each other. Verse 2, gird up yourselves with cloths of sack and hair. Beware your children and be sorry, for your destruction is at hand. A sword is sent upon you, and who may turn it back? And that sword that's sent upon that can't be turned back is that nuclear missile. Because this is the tensions that they're fighting about, wherever this is, wherever they're fighting at, that place is not going to cease. There's not going to be no ceasefire, And it says, as two countries have had no diplomatic relations since 1979 and all that other shit. So there's not going to be any peace. And once they send that missile, it can't be turned back. In verse 4, a fire is sent among you, and who may quench it? Because you're not going to have 911 to call, because martial law will be in effect. So there's not going to be anybody to come and take these fires out. Not only that, but a fire truck is not going to be able to stop a nuclear missile. Okay, and it says, plagues are sent unto you, and what is he that may drive them away? And what are those plagues going to be? Famine, okay, lack of bread, okay, which means spiritually, which means you won't be around the men of the Lord. Also, there won't be any food in the stores. You niggas don't grow food. You niggas aren't allowed to have food grown, depending on where you live. So it's an all-around wrapping up of things. Verse 6, may any man drive away a hungry lion in the wood? Or may anyone quench the fire in stubble when it hath began to burn? So if a lion is hungry in the woods, right, are you going to stop him from eating your ass? No. You're not going to stop him, okay? So once them arrows get shot, there is no return to sender. Once they shoot those missiles off, there ain't no coming back. All right, and it says, one turn again the arrow that is shot of a strong archer, and that what is that strong archer? Those nuclear silos, man. How they launch those off, because it's going to be intercontinental ballistic missiles. Okay, ICBM. These are the ones that cannot be returned. And it says, the mighty Lord sendeth the plagues, and who is he that can drive them away? So this is a seal that is being opened up and brought forth from the Lord, and it's being manifest, as you can see now, every single day through these new Iran news stories, these new Israel news stories that we're seeing day after day after day. If you continue to pay attention, that is. And it's in verse 9, a fire shall go forth from his wrath, and who is he that may quench it? He shall cast lightnings, and who shall not fear? He shall thunder, and who shall not be afraid? The Lord shall threaten, and who shall not be utterly beaten to powder at his presence? Right? And how do you get beaten to powder? If you've ever seen the old pictures of Pompeii, when the volcanic ash hit the people, it burned them in a way to where they were almost like a mannequin of dust, so beaten to powder, This is verse 12. The earth quaketh, and the foundations thereof. The sea ariseth up with waves from the deep, and the waves of it are troubled, and the fishes thereof also, before the Lord, and before the glory of his power. And for strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. Right? And who is his right hand? His hopeful elect. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp, and shall not miss, when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. Right? Behold, the plagues are sent, and shall not return again, until they come upon the earth. The fire is kindled, and shall not be put out, till it consume the foundation of the earth. Like as an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer returneth not backward, even so the plagues that shall be sent upon earth shall not return again. Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? And so this is obviously Ezra didn't he was scared. Woe is me, because the chariots and whatnot, the chariots is a deep mystery, So he's asking who will deliver him in those days. And it says the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, right? So what we're setting up right here, because if you see here, that's setting up for war, basically. And the powers shall stand in fear, right? And who are the powers? Right? The powers are the elites. They'll stand in fear. The beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. And so what do they say your amendments are, your first amendments? These are things that you can use. These are things that are given unto you as your right? So the Lord is going to bestow upon famine and plague and anguish, and they're sent as scourges for amendment. So these will be ordained. Okay? And verse 20, but for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges, and that's the 2/3. Even in these times, they'll still be wicked. Okay, they'll be out doing some purge type of shit, Even in these times, let's say somebody who is a man of the Lord during the purge, he stays hidden, reading the scriptures. He can be delivered out of anything, any sort of harm done to him or his family, But anyways, see, there they go. Oh shit, something went wrong with displaying the web page. Damn devils. You bring the word out, and all of a sudden, they cut off yeah. But whatever, we gonna keep reading this. But for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case. Even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. Right? And that's the time of Jacob's trouble. For many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine, and the other that shall escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. Right? So even a lot of people who, a lot of you preppers and all that, you'll have a lot of food stocked up, but the sword, aka that missile, that nuclear missiles, will destroy you. And the dead shall be cast out as dung, and there shall be no man to comfort them. For the earth shall be wasted, and the cities shall be cast down. Right? And who's the man to comfort us? Yahweh Shah HaMashiach. That's our comforter, you know. There shall be no man left to till the earth and to sow it. And the trees shall give fruit, and who shall gather them? The grapes shall ripen, and who shall tread them? For all places shall be desolate of men, so that one man shall desire to see another, and to hear his voice. For of a city there shall be 10 left, and 2 of a field, which shall hide themselves in the thick groves, and in the clefts of the rocks. And who are those people? Those, the people that are in the cities, those will be people that will have these underground bunkers, okay? And the people that are in, when it says in the field, these are the people going out to New Zealand, okay? And getting all these fortresses made so that they'll hide themselves among the thick groves, aka the bushes of the Amazon. Okay, and the Lord's judgment is coming to the Amazon, it's coming to New Zealand, it's coming all over the earth, you know? That's gonna be it. So even in the clefts of the rocks, they're gonna hide. Aka those underground bunkers, all that other bullshit. This is verse 29. As in an orchard of olives, upon every tree there are left 3 or 4 olives. Or as when a vineyard is gathered, there are left some clusters of them that diligently seek through the vineyard. Even so in those days there shall be 3 or 4 left by them that searcheth their houses with the sword, or that search their houses with the sword. And the earth shall be laid waste, and the fields thereof shall wax old, and her ways and all her paths shall grow full of thorns, because no man shall travel therethrough. And virgins shall mourn, having no bridegrooms, and the women shall mourn, having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. In the war shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. Hear now these things, and understand them, ye servants of the Lord. So that wasn't applying to the servants of the Most High. You see, he said, hear these things and understand them. You know? Understand that these things will take place. This is prophecy. This is verse 36. Behold the word of the Lord. Receive it. Believe not the gods of whom the Lord spake. And what do they say? Money is a god, you know. Believe not. Believe not that money will get you out during those times, you know. In verse 37, behold, the plagues draw nigh, and are not slack. So these ain't finna be lacking. There's not going to be a half famine. Oh, you might be able to get some food. You might be able to get some food. No food. You know? And here's verse 38. As when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son, within 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains come past her womb, which pains when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment. So this is going to be continuous hell. This is going to be a hell you've never seen before. Verse 39, even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side. So that means all over the world, on every side. That means in Norway, that means in Bolivia, that means in Brazil, that means in France, that means all the way over to Greenland, everywhere. He that selleth, let him be as he that fleeth away, and he that buyeth as one that will lose. He that accompanieth merchandise as he hath no profit by it, and he that buildeth as he that shall not dwell therein. He that soweth as if he should not reap, so also he that planteth the vineyard, and he that shall not gather the grapes. They that marry as they that shall get no children, and they that marry not as the widowers. And therefore they that labor in vain. For strangers shall reap their fruits, and spoil their goods, overthrow their houses, and take their children captives. For in captivity and famine shall they get children. Okay? And they that occupy their merchandise with robbery, and more, they deck their cities, their houses, their possessions, and their own persons. The more and I be angry with them for their sin, saith the Lord. Like as a whore envieth a right, honest, and virtuous woman, so shall righteousness hate iniquity, when she decketh herself, and shall accuse her to her face. When he that cometh that shall defend him, that diligently searcheth out every sin upon the earth. And therefore be ye not like thereunto, nor to the works thereof. For yet a little, and iniquity shall be taken away out of the earth, and righteousness shall reign among you. Let not the sinner say that he hath not sinned, for Yahweh shall burn coals of fire upon his head through those nuclear missiles, which saith before the Lord Yahweh and his glory, I have not sinned. Behold, the Lord knoweth all the works of men, their imaginations, which is their minds, what they're thinking, their thoughts, which is obviously, what I just said, and their hearts, which is what they're going to do in the future. See, because they said the heart is wicked, which spake but the word, let the earth be made, and it was made. So you see that power. Let the heaven be made, and it was created. In his word were the stars made, and he knoweth the number of them, right? And who are the stars? You see, the stars are the 144,000, the elect men, and he knows the number of them. And the stars also is Israel. He knows the number of how many Israelites. He knows who's the Israelite. He knows the stars of them. And you see, what's a celebrity? What do they call a celebrity? A celebrity is called a star. You understand? And in the kingdom, you'll be a superstar. You see, that's why I believe that celebrity, and let me look that up. I'm going to look up the Greek. I'm going to look up the Greek word for celebrity. Celebrity. Greek. Celebrity meaning in Greek. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so this is from the online etymology dictionary. Celebrity. Late 14th century. Solemn rite or ceremony. From Old French, celebration, or directly from Latin, celebritum, multitude, fame, frequented, populous, meaning condition of being famous. Okay, famous person, 1849. No. We need the actual word, We need to look it up. Maybe I can just... So the word is, in Greek, a celebrity in Greek is diasimotita, I guess. So I'm going to try to... I can't really look for anything. You see, that's the thing. We try to break down the words. They try to act like they don't know what we're talking about. But the true celebrities, the true stars are the hopeful elect. And back to the word, Ezra's second Ezra's chapter 16, verse 57. He that searcheth the deep and the treasures thereof, he hath measured the sea and what it containeth. And those treasures in the deep is searching deep in these words, deep in the scriptures, deep in the meaning of words like this. You know, I guess etymology. So okay, this will work. Late Middle English, in the sense solemn ceremony, from Old French celebrate or celebrate, in Latin celebritas, frequented or honored. Now, who's frequented and who's honored? In the old times of the kings, who was most frequented? The prophets. They would be frequented for any sort of issue regarding war, any sort of issue regarding an economy, anything. You go to the men of the Lord for everything. Low key, that's what everybody does. Every single time there's something, they're going to the great honorable men all across the world in the name of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, because we know what the hell we're talking about. They can try to deny it all they want to, but that's why they get mad, because we know what the hell we're talking about. And so we're honored. How do you obtain honor? Through the Lord. So these are people that are frequented and honored. So we're the real celebrities. All right? And gonna do the middle of this, then end the video. 2nd Esdras, chapter 16, verse 58. He hath shut the sea in the midst of the waters, and with his word hath he hanged the earth upon the waters. He spreadeth out the heavens like a vault. Upon the waters hath he founded it. In the desert hath he made springs of water. So in the desert, which is here in Babylon, he made springs of water, which you could attribute as camps, which you could attribute as great men, in the name of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, and pools upon the tops of the mountains. And the pools that are on tops of the mountains are those different Israelites from that are scattered amongst those nations, speaking those words of living water. You see, and it says here that the floods might pour down from the high rocks to water the earth. And how do we water the earth? Through this word. And it says he made man and put his heart in the midst of the body, and gave him breath, life, and understanding. So you see, he made man first, then he put his heart in the midst of the body. So those emotions, you see, so he put essentially he put the wicked in you before he put the good. You understand? Because what did the Lord say? That your heart is deceitful. That your heart is wicked. By nature. So he put the wicked in you before he put the good. You see, and it says, and gave him breath, life, and understanding. Yea, in the spirit of Almighty Yahweh, which made all things, and searcheth out all hidden things in the secrets of the earth. Surely he knoweth your inventions, and what ye think in your hearts, even them that sin, and would hide their sin. And how do they how do they hide their sin? How do they hide their sin? Through covert operations, psychological warfare. The so-called white man got something for your ass on every angle. He got your ass. But anyways, verse 64. Therefore hath the Lord exactly searched out all your works, and he will put you all to shame. And when your sins are brought forth, ye shall be ashamed before men, and your own sins shall be your accusers in that day. You see? What will ye do? And how will ye hide your sins before God and his angels? Behold, Yahweh himself is the judge. Fear him, leave off from your sins, and forget your iniquities, to meddle no more with them forever. So shall Yahweh lead you forth and deliver you from all trouble. And what will that trouble be? The trouble will be during martial law and the rest of it. For behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and that great multitude is the other nations. And they shall take away certain of you, and feed you, being idle, with things offered unto idols. And where is that at? Babylon. So a lot of you niggas are getting are being idle, you know? And they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and in reproach and trodden underfoot. You know? So you consent to that bullshit and you're going to be trodden under the foot. For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. For they shall waste and take away their goods, and cast them out of their houses. Then shall they be known, who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as the gold in the fire. And who's the chosen? The so-called hopeful elect. The so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American men across the four corners of the earth in the confusion of face, brothers. There are a lot of Israelites who look like white men with blue eyes, you know, and they're catching hell. You know what I mean? And they're like, why the fuck am I catching all this hell? Cause you an Israelite. You just don't know it, you know? And you'll be tried as gold in the fire. And see, we're gold, you know? And gold is malleable under fire, but nothing really happens. You know, it just gets molded to what it needs to be. And when it's tried in fire, after it's shined up, it's a lot more shiny than it would be in its raw form, you know? So that's us, too. We have to be tried by fire, you know? In these last couple verses. Hear, O ye my beloved, which is Israel. Saith the Lord, behold, the days of trouble are at hand, Jacob's trouble, but I will deliver you from the same. Be ye not afraid, neither doubt, for Yahweh is your God, and the guide of them who keep my commandments and precepts, saith the Lord Yahweh. Let not your sins weigh you down. Let not your iniquities lift up themselves. Right? Woe be unto them that are bound with their sins, and covered with their iniquities, like as a field is covereth over with bushes, and the path thereof covered with thorns, and no man may travel through. It is left undressed, and is cast into the fire to be consumed therewith. So that whole path that you covered is going to be uncovered anyways by the fire, which comes through those nuclear missiles, you know? So that's what it all comes back to, man. Couple more precepts. Just a couple more. That's all, because I said I was going to end it, but you know how it is. You know how it is. Once you get to reading and opening it up, you know, you got to get a couple points. We're just going to do two. Just a quick two real quick. All right. This is the book of John, chapter 14, verse 26. But the Comforter, which is the Holy Ghost, whom the Father will send in my name, he shall teach you all things and bring all things to your remembrance, whatsoever I have said unto you. And so all the things that we just read just now, you know, he'll bring all these things to your remembrance. You know, he'll help you remember. You know, and one more. All right. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4, verse 27. And the Lord shall scatter you among the nations, and ye shall be left few in number among the heathen, whither the Lord shall lead you. And there ye shall serve gods, the work of men's hands, wood and stone, which neither see, nor hear, nor eat, nor smell. But if from thence thou shalt seek the Lord thy God, thou shalt find him, if thou seek him with all thy heart and with all thy soul. When thou art in tribulation, which is the time of Jacob's trouble that we just read about, and all these things are come upon thee, those plagues that we were talking about, even in the latter days, which we were talking about with the missiles, if thou turn to the Lord thy God, and shalt be obedient unto his voice. For the Lord thy God is a merciful God. He will not forsake thee, neither destroy thee, nor forget the covenant of thy fathers, which he sware unto them. Which is Israel. And so this fake Israel that we got going up here is out of town, man. One more. Just going to read this. Okay. This is from ABC News. Longest total lunar eclipse of 21st century coming Friday. The longest total lunar eclipse of the century is coming Friday and will transform the moon into a reddish-orange color for more than 100 minutes, according to NASA. Let's see if we can get this popping.
The places you clean the most are where the people you love the most.
See, look at Esau. Esau on the phone. Esau, a little kid that got the father cleaning, man. Look at the father cleaning up the counter, man, taking care of the kid. And look at the woman. Oh, man, the young daughter, man, should be at least helping clean up before the man. It's out of order. Anyways, lunar eclipse occurs when the Earth positions itself between the sun and the moon. These are signs, man. Now hold up. It said in 1504 Christopher Columbus was stranded in Jamaica. And if you remember, if you go through the history, Christopher Columbus, right, was slaughtering Benjamites, all sorts of people, so-called Puerto Ricans, all sorts of people. So when he was stranded in Jamaica, obviously he came in contact with these Hebrew Israelites, and this is a picture depiction of them. Look at them. These look like a lot of look at it. And see, how do you scare them into believing that he needs to give them food? You see, because he's a so-called white man. So he had them believing that it was a prophetic event, so-called devil. And Christopher Columbus is a demon, man. He's a fucking demon. The longest total lunar eclipse of the century is coming Friday. It will transform the moon into a reddish-orange color for more than 100 minutes, according to NASA. And isn't it ironic that it's going to be about an hour and 44 minutes, for the 144,000? And that's just, it's just a golden nugget, per se. Oh, look at this. The eclipse won't be visible from North America. Noah Petro, a scientist for the NASA Goddard Space Flight Center, told ABC News. Stargazers in areas near the Middle East, South or Eastern Africa, Western and Southeast Asia, and India will be able to catch a glimpse of the celestial event as long as the weather permits. So look, people in the Middle East are going to see it, and Africa are going to see it. Asia Minor are going to see it. India are going to see it. So they're all going to witness this, And the elect through the unicorn, through the internet, we're going to be able to see it too. And that's a sign for us too that this shit is coming to an end, man. And the water Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai for that. Barakatha Yahweh and Barakatha Yahushai for that. Barakatha Barakathum to all the sincere Akim. It's a lot of scoffers that view your stuff, but to all the brothers truly trying to learn, Shalom. In those areas, the totality of the lunar eclipse, when the moon will retain its red color, will last for about an hour and 42 minutes. It's actually about an hour and 44. The entire event, beginning as the moon passes through the Earth's atmosphere, will last about 6 hours and 13 minutes. Residents in Australia will be able to see the lunar eclipse as the moon sets, while those in eastern Brazil and western Europe can see it as the moon is rising. Petro suggested either renting a boat and driving it to the Middle East or middle of the Indian Ocean, or he's asking you to die. Don't go to the middle of the Indian Ocean, people. And it says, or visiting relatives in Ethiopia for the best seat in the house. And what did the Lord say about Ethiopia? See, the Ethiopians are going to get a front row seat. They're gonna get a front row seat, man. They're gonna get a front row seat to the blood moon, and that's nothing but a sign, man. That's a sign. I don't know how to spell Ethiopia, so Slovakia. Look, Job chapter 28, verse 19. The topaz of Ethiopia shall not equal it, neither shall it be valued with pure gold. So it's worth nothing. Isaiah chapter 18, verse 1. Woe to the land shadowing with wings, which is beyond the rivers of Ethiopia. And what does that look like? Woe to the land shadowing with wings, which is beyond the rivers of Ethiopia. So the shadows of the wings are going to come from those angels, man. When that place is getting hunted the fuck down. Because if you got the best seat in the house for a lunar eclipse, what do you think you're going to get when Yahushua and the angels come back? You're going to get a front row seat to an ass whipping. Isaiah chapter 20, verse 3. The Lord said, like as my servant Isaiah hath walked naked and barefoot 3 years for a sign and wonder upon Egypt and upon Ethiopia. So when he was walking, naked and barefoot, he was walking naked from the truth, Isaiah chapter 20, verse 5, and they shall be afraid and ashamed of Ethiopia, their expectation, and of Egypt, their glory. And that's America, you see, because Ethiopia and America, they're both gonna get fucked up. All over the earth, if you're not coming under the vibration of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, you getting fucked up, It is what it is. So let me just put this down. Oh, and as I put down the screen, look at that. That's ominous as hell. A supermoon rises over the U.S. Capitol and Jefferson Memorial in Washington, D.C. Okay? So look at that. That's a sign, man. That's a sign to the hopeful elect. So to all my brothers out there, keep it up. Keep moving forward. We're almost out of here. Wa Ababa Ball. And just the water Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. And to Babylon, to all the people in Babylon, they can scoff all they want to, but Israel has next, period. Israel knows the prophecies. Most don't, but a good bit do. We're going to study diligently. We're going to profess the everlasting commandments of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai in reverence and in truth and in faith and with honesty and sincerity, with love, which is following the laws, statutes, and commandments, and with vigor and with haste. Shalom to the elect.